Here's a quick explainer to essential question number 1 during the fall of 2011, and this is the one when we're dealing with Frank's football equipment. So let's start off with black and question number 1 up here. Large amount of cash for your birthday and use it to start your new business venture. Well, what you're doing here is you're starting off the business, and so you've got this inflow of assets, and at the same time it's bounced off by this inflow of, or rather a change in owner equity. Remember on the balance sheet that you have to have it so your assets are always equal to the sum of the liabilities and owner equity. So if you see an asset change take place, it's got to have an opposite change in assets or a change going in the same direction with liabilities and owner equity. So keep that one in mind. Now, balance sheet items tend to have an echo over in cash flow, and it's the usual pattern is anything that's a change in liabilities or owner equity has a change in finance too. And please note that you had cash coming into the business, so you're going to have cash coming in over here from finance. That's where owner equity changes show up. Switching over to red, we're going to take out a loan, so you got part of it right there, to purchase some new equipment. Well, what we can do is this, is taking out the loan and purchasing this new equipment. Here is an increase in liabilities from the loan, and here is the increase in assets from the equipment that you purchased. So we just got a straight trade-off right there. So please note that those guys balance themselves out. Now let's move on to the next question in green about hiring 2 new employees. Well, that's just a straight up increase in operating expenses, which reduces your net income, which reduces your cash from operations. Okay, there was another interruption. But we're back, and we're back to question number 4, which is in blue. You use some cash to purchase advertisements in Willamette Week, and the advertisements do well and customers start pouring in. Well, purchasing the advertisements is an increase in operating expenses, and you also had extra sales. You had an increase in operating revenue, so that's great. The thing is, it has this ambiguous effect on net income. You're not sure which one's bigger. So we're really not sure how this feeds into cash from operations. Could go up or could go down. Just remember that anytime you have something that changes net income, it's also going to have this change in cash from operations. That's the connection between the income statement and the cash flow statement. Switching back to black again, you pay for your employees to attend some training camps. So you're a great employer. Well, this ends up being just an increase in expenses. You may start thinking it's an investment, but because you don't own people, it's not an investment. This also means a decrease in net income and a decrease in cash from operations. Well, it turns out, we're over to the red question number 6 right here, the camps do pay off and you end up having this extra revenue come in. And so we have this increase in revenue that's there, which results in an increase in net income and an increase in cash from operations. Green, payment on your loan. Now we can go a couple of ways on this one. You can get the basics part, and here's the part we'd be really happy that you get. You start making a loan payment, that means your assets go down, and at the same time we know that your liabilities are going to go down. That's good. Now, because you're paying out part of the loan, your cash from finance goes down. That's also good. But that's like what we'd really hope for. You may start getting all complicated and go like, oh, there was also an interest expense over here which makes your net income go down, which also means that your cash from operations from going down. That also works too. But please note there's this little bit of piece of owner equity that has to change there too. But this is the part we're trying to aim for. So in the meantime, we'll usually make kind of bizarre assumptions that your loans don't have any interest on, just to keep everything nice and simple. Final question, blue. The price of equipment is rising, so you raise your prices. Well, what we're aiming for here is, and this is in blue, an increase in revenue, which increases net income, which decreases cash from operations. And that should be the quick explainer to essential question number 1. This is Frank's football equipment in the fall of 2011.